The May 17th, 2023 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissions to order. On Wednesday, March 29, 2023, Governor Colleen Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act authorizing appropriations for the fiscal year of 2023, which includes a 2-year extension with the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, which is the open meeting law. That action was effective immediately and extends the current option for remote meetings through March 31st of 2025. Calling the meeting to order, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Stady,
Yeah, I'm here by remote. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Collins,
Present.
and Commissioner Shea is present. I'm going to ask everyone to stand and join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it is
one
one
nation,
nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next order of business is executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session, commissioners.
You want to make the motion, Richard?
Sure, go ahead, Peter. Yes, yes, sir.
All right. I move we go into executive session pursuant to purposes 3, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, subsection A, subsection 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining and litigation. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair so declares. Also, an executive session pursuant to purposes 6 MGLC Chapter 30A, Section 21A, subsection 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body and the chair so declares. That's the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote. Commissioner Stady,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
and Commissioner Shea votes yes.
And does the chair so declare?
And the chair has declared that we need to go into executive session. Otherwise, it may have a detrimental effect on our negotiations. Thank you. And Bill Buckley, if you could talk to folks that are waiting, we will be returning for a full regular meeting.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
4 and 5.
we're gonna go to items 4 and 5 when we get everyone on.
Yeah, and I'll jump on that because we're going to table them. And then it's not ready yet.
Okay, we need about 2 minutes to get everyone.
Billy, I didn't get minutes in my packet.
Yeah, I'm
Hold on.
going to table it because they're not ready.
Okay,
I'm going to make a motion to table both of them.
okay, thank you, thank you.
It's 3 weeks then.
Okay,
We didn't.
Thanks for waiting for us.
Okay. We're back in session on our Wednesday, May 17th, regular meeting of Norfolk County Commissioners. We're going to go to item number 4 and 5, Commissioners. Minutes of open session meeting of May 3rd and May 10th.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we table the minutes because they're not ready yet.
all right, second motion.
On tabling May 3rd's minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
They are tabled. Number 5,
May 3rd and May 10th are both tabled. Yeah,
May 10th.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
We're going to go to item number 6, appointments. We have none. Number 7, public comment. Each week we carry a section on our agenda for public comment for anyone who wants to come in and say hello or has any comment or any discussion. Since this is a Zoom meeting, is there anyone on the Zoom who has any comment under the public comment section of our meeting? Director Cronin, did you have anyone?
We did not, sir.
We did not. Okay, last call. Anyone on public comment? That concludes that matter. Old business. We have a fiscal 23 spending fees passed over. Was it tabled at the last meeting?
I brought it in under director's update, so.
Okay.
but you need a motion, right?
So we need to put, it is properly before us. Commissioners, there's a copy of the draft motion in front of you. I'm gonna turn to Director Cronin for his comments on the fiscal 23 spending freeze.
Thank you. Briefly, Commissioners, to echo the remarks I made a week ago, the county, as it approaches the close of FY '23, is currently staring at about approximately a $300,000 to $500,000 negative balance between projected revenues and expenditures. We still have approximately 6 weeks to go in the fiscal year. We believe instituting a spending freeze at this time will be beneficial to allow the county not to spend funds against any obligations that are discretionary. The motion before you this afternoon reflects the need for the county to generate, if you will, certain surpluses as a result of non-expenditure funds in in discretionary spaces such as supplies, materials, or one-time expenditures that can wait until July 1st, 2023. This particular motion would not affect or apply to the Norfolk County Agricultural School. I recognize that I believe the last time the county went through a spending freeze was in 2020. Again, with 6 weeks to go, we recognize that the amount of funds that can be generated are sort of minimal. A lot of the discretionary spending has occurred, but yet we do see a space here for us to help ourselves as we close the books on July 10th. So through your assistance today, we'll get this message out to the department heads to direct them to cease any discretionary spending between now and June 30th. One thing I would like to footnote as you consider this action, it doesn't mean that on July 1st, everything is magically better. These revenue projections continue to hit benchmarks below where we had projected. We're mindful that the economic conditions that brought these trends to us haven't changed dramatically and may not in the next several months. In the event we see similar distress emerging over an extended period in FY '24, we'll look to take additional steps to bolster our FY '24 budget that may include a blend of spending cuts and or revenue revisitation of certain revenue targets. That action will be taken, if any, sometime between July 1st and September. So we'll keep monitoring it. It is a very fluid situation, but we think this action today is prudent. And before you take any action, I do want to recognize Joe Dioria, who again shows to be a tremendous partner with the Commissioner's Office to help us monitor our revenues. Joe brought these collection differences to my attention back in April. We've been collaborating and discussing the impact of a spending freeze, and we collaboratively believe that this is the right step at this time. Thank you, sir.
Any comments, commissioners? Commissioner Stady?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, of course. Did we do a freeze last year? I know my first year we did, but was there a freeze last year?
No, sir.
Okay. And you said it was a draft motion. I want to defer to Commissioner Collins.
We have it here.
Okay, that's fine. I know we talked about it a little bit, and this is only for our side, not the Aggie school, correct?
That's right.
Do you want to read it, Richard?
Yeah, could you please? Could you?
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, I make a motion to institute a spending freeze effective immediately upon certain Norfolk County appropriations in fiscal year '23, effective May 17, 2023 through June 30th, 2023. This freeze is intended to curtail discretionary spending due to lower than projected revenue collections. The spending freeze will not apply to any salary or non-discretionary or current contractual obligations of the county, nor shall it apply to the Norfolk County Agricultural High School. All requests for expenditures or transfers within these discretionary budget codes will be subject to final approval by the county director. So moved.
All right, I'll second that. Just a quick follow-up question. Was the advisory board, I'm assuming, advised of this as well, Mr. Chairman?
They will,
Yes.
no,
No?
that we haven't met with the advisory board yet. The finance committee was advised of it yesterday, sir.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. I meant the finance. Yeah, that's what I
They
meant.
were.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you. That's okay, that's fine.
All right,
Has to
on
be
the
done.
motion. Any more discussion? Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Stady, will you second the motion?
Yes, sir. I thought I did. I second. Yes,
All
sir.
right, I'm sorry.
I did.
Sorry, you did.
I did. That's all
All in
right.
favor?
I want to roll call it because he's,
Right.
All right, I'll have a roll call here. Commissioner Stady,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Commissioner Collins
Yes.
and Commissioner Shea votes aye, is 3-0. Thank you. That concludes the matter of the spending freeze for now. 9, personnel matters for consideration. I have none today. Number 10, payroll and expense warrants for approval. Commissioner Collins.
Okay, I'm gonna read the warrant list and
Yep.
make motions. The first is a motion for item 23-46 payroll of the county in the amount of $148,657.09. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
The second is a motion to approve warrant 23-46 subsection 23 payroll of the school in the amount of $347,880.78. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
The
Next.
third is 50323 expense of the county in the amount of $73,344.89. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
The next is 23-11 capital D expense of the school in the amount of $246,629.52. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Next is 23-45 ARPA Braintree in the amount of $434,655.31. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next is 23-45 ARPA Quincy in the amount of $8,600,894. So
Wow.
moved.
Is that the largest one at the record
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Wow. All right, second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And the last is 23-45 ARPA Rentham in the amount of $343,192.06. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Point of order, if I could, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
For some reason that we're off by a penny, and I just want to be true to the ARPA award. Could you revote the town of Braintree? The cents on that is 30 cents, not 31.
Okay, we're revoting.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I want to revise the motion
All right.
on the ARPA award to Braintree. It was off by 1 penny, so we're going to start again on that one. So 23-45 ARPA Braintree in the amount of $434,655.30. So moved.
All right, I'll second that. Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you. Okay. That concludes our payroll and expense warrants. Number 11, report on Opera Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of footnotes for the commissioners. This afternoon, you approved the single largest award to date, and that was to the city of Quincy. One large project cost associated with the construction of a school building in Quincy. This now brings the total amount that Norfolk County has awarded to $73,911,182. Norfolk County has awarded 55.6% of its total $133.2 million award now to the various cities and towns in Norfolk County. That includes 21 cities and towns that have received at least one award. 7 communities remain. I wanted to give a brief update on each. All 7 communities have had some activity in our portal, which is good news. Avon has a grant that we are waiting for more information from the the town of Avon to provide. They've had some leadership transition there. We're still waiting for Brookline. They have a draft application in the portal, has not moved off of that space yet. Cohasset is actively working with us, and we're requiring more information on their grant application. Excuse me. Foxborough is another community with leadership transition. Their grant is pending certification. The town of Norfolk has one application in right now that is pending level 1. That means it's with Clifton Larson. Plainville has applications in. I think there are 3 that need more information. And then finally, the town of Sharon has an approved grant. That'll be the next one you see, likely in a few weeks. That'll be moving in your queue for approval. So we have full participation. We are expending funds at this point. As I mentioned, well over half with just about 18 months to go. And I suspect that by the end of this fiscal year, we'll be sending, calendar year, we'll be sending notice out to the various cities and towns to begin to imagine that the county will be helping them expend their available allotment. In the event that they cannot do so, we will pull it back likely a year from now. So that's the view ahead. Just want to give you the good news that today's award brings you over the halfway point. Again, Norfolk County leads the way, and I suspect you'll hear more about the element of your success compared to the other counties next week when you meet in Barnstable with the other commissioners. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any questions of the director relative to opera? Okay, on
Mr.
the
Chairman?
agenda, we have opera warrants
No,
listed.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I
Commissioner.
was just going to say, great job by John and Bill and our staff on doing this great work for Quincy and the other towns. They continue to outshine the other counties. It's a credit to all of us and a good reflection on us. Secondly, we might want to think about, again, as we're getting near the end here, maybe some kind of, again, ceremony with some of these other towns, just to kind of maybe personally present or something like that. We can talk about, at some point, but certainly great job today, and that's great news. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it necessary to do this number
Yeah.
12?
Yeah, we've already voted it.
All set.
Okay, that's what I thought. Number 13, we do have some 130 bid awards. I'm sorry, no 130 bid openings. Number 14, contract awards. I believe we have two. I'm going to have Nancy Rockwell, our procurement specialist, to come in, get in the hot seat. Good afternoon, Nancy.
Good afternoon, how are you, Commissioner?
First one is rubbish removal for various county buildings for a period of 1 year with two one-year options to renew. Number one,
We had one bid,
one
from
bid.
Allstate Waste. It is recommended to award the 3-year contract to them. They were actually our previous vendor before the current vendor we have. The current vendor we have has sold off their, I was wondering why they didn't bid, they sold off their commercial portion of the company.
So we have a track record with all six.
Yes, we
waste,
do.
And they're ready to go.
Yes.
There'll be no lapse and.
Nope.
Okay, any other comments about awarding the rubbish contract to All-State Waste? They previously were our vendor before last year. Last year's vendor has deceased, I guess, or changed its operations. I don't know. I don't mean deceased. That's not the right word.
All right, do you want a motion?
Motion to award it to.
Do you want to do the motion, Richard? or Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, just quick question, just making sure. Nancy, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I apologize. Real quick, is there some language in there regarding Quincy, in case that, the whole Quincy courthouse thing?
Liz,
Okay,
yes. we're
okay,
all
just
set.
checking. Okay, you're on top. Yeah, go ahead, Peter. You can move the approval. I'll second it.
Okay, move forward with the rubbish removal for various county buildings for a period of 1 year with two one-year options to renew with Allstate Waste.
Yep.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're awarding our rubbish removal to All-State Waste.
Commissioner Stady, I apologize. I should have asked you earlier. I asked you at the beginning, but before we were recording, we have your permission to sign the documents that you voted, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir.
Right.
Permission granted. Yep.
Next, Nancy, notice to proceed on the gymnasium painting at the Norfolk County Agricultural School to the to the vendor that you have investigated. Go ahead.
The contract was awarded last week to CACO Contracting for the painting. All his bonds have been received, so this is the notice to proceed for him to start the project.
And the name of that company
It's
is?
CACO Contracting, and the amount of the contract price is $24,700.
And it's important to get this going because we do it in the summer, right, John?
You need a motion on that one? also?
Yes.
That's right.
All right, I'll make a motion that we proceed with the contract with CACO Contracting, the amount of $24,700 to proceed with the gymnasium painting at the Norfolk County Agricultural High School.
Okay, sounds good. Second that. I'll second it.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
We will award the painting contract at the agricultural high school. We can sign it right now. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Number 15, fiscal 23, fifth supplemental appropriation for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This afternoon, I'll request the commissioners' consideration of a very relatively small supplemental budget heading into the end of fiscal year 23. This includes a transfer of $600 to pay unpaid bills for a prior year, a transfer to pay temporary salaries at the Wallaston Recreational Facility, and finally, temporary salaries within the treasurer's office. The total amount of this transaction, all three, is $943.66. I request a motion to approve that. I'll put it before the advisory board this evening. Finance committee approved it last evening.
Yeah, I'll move approval of the fifth budget adjustment for fiscal 23 as presented.
Okay,
Amount
second,
of $943, was it 86 cents? You said
66.
66 cents.
Okay, that was your motion. I'll second your motion.
Motion made and seconded to award to vote the fifth supplemental appropriation and forward it to our advisory board for this evening's meeting for fiscal year 23. The balance is for $943.66 is the additional appropriation. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners. In your packet, commissioners, we have a request from the town of Medway for a boundary and topographic existing condition survey on the 14 acre site called Medway Community Farm located at 50 Winthrop Street. This boundary and topographic survey is to be used for wetland permitting and to obtain permits to construct a new barn. The paperwork is ready. Patrick, how does this look to you?
Hi, Commissioners. Good afternoon. Yeah, I reviewed the project with the town DPW and with the Carol Collard, who's the director of the Medway Community Farm. So we're on our end. We can supply the services needed by the fall, and then the town is going to do their part and hire a title examiner and a wetland delineator. So it's ready to go.
Okay, any other questions, commissioners? We're happy to help the town of Medway.
Just a quick one, if I could, Patrick, for you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
To Patrick. So something like that, can you give an estimate of like, how long it takes to do something like this you're going to be doing for Medway? Be good to know.
A rough estimate.
Yeah, a couple of
what's-
days, a week, 2 weeks. I mean, what's your workload like? Roughly, what's it take? Do a survey of 14 acres. It's a lot.
Well, I'll know once I get the title report back. It's I believe it's going to be the first time this farm's actually going to be surveyed. There's no plans on record at the registry of deeds.
Yep.
So that's why we have the title exam. So I would project it'll take 2 to 3 months spread out
Oh, okay.
over time. Not dedicated 2 to 3 months, but spread out over 2 to 3 to 4 months, going there intermittently to do parts of the project.
Good
So
to know.
it's an iterative process.
No, that's good to know. That's all. Good. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Richard, you want to make the motion?
any
Sure.
call?
I move approval of the request from the town of Medway for services from the Norfolk County Engineering Department for a boundary topographical survey of the 14 acre Medway Community Farm, which is located at 50 Winthrop Street, to be used for wetland permitting and to get the permits it needs for a new barn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to grant the request from the town of Medway for a boundary and topographical survey to be performed by our county engineering department. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Thank you.
Thank you,
Number
Commissioners.
17. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Report of the county.
Thank you, Patrick.
Just a few items for the commissioners this afternoon. First, a reminder, tomorrow afternoon at the Dedham VFW, I believe it's at 1 o'clock, our RSVP program will be sponsoring a pinning ceremony. I believe each of the commissioners were invited. I believe at least 2 intend to attend. Robert has been working hard at this program, this annual program, and he expects well over 50 people in attendance. That'll be locally at the debt of VFW. Robert, I don't know if you want to add any color to that particular item. Feel free to do so.
Thanks, John. That's all set. That's good. Thank you.
Okay. Yesterday afternoon, the Finance Committee for Norfolk County met. They met in executive session with council, and following that, in preparation of this evening's meeting, made a favorable motion to approve the FY 24 operating budget, the FY 24 capital budget. They approved the FY 23 proposed transfers that you just looked at. And also will make a motion relative to the matter involving Chapter 35 violation letter to the Register of Deeds. This evening, we'll be meeting at the Wallaston Recreational Facility, first at 5:30 p.m. to do a ribbon cutting of the brand new playground. I understand there's been some invitation extended to local elected officials and so forth, followed by a 6 o'clock dinner within the View Restaurant. Excuse me, after dinner, promptly after dinner, and the clearing of dishes. We'll enter into executive session to begin the advisory board's latest meeting. They'll hear from council. Following that, we'll go back into regular session to address the remainder of the agenda, which is relatively brief, and it includes the items that I just mentioned that the Finance Committee has favorably voted upon. Wanted to also inform the commissioners that Mr. Buckley and Michelle have conducted their first interview of a candidate interested in the Weights and Measures program. This is the full-time position. That particular candidate will be back tomorrow for a second interview where he'll be put through some scenario-based questions. Also, the commissioners should have received an invitation for a Father Bill's and Mainspring opening on June 15th, 10 o'clock in Quincy. I don't know if you wanted to speak to that because that was something you talked about this morning.
Father Bill's has been relocated due to the fact that the city of Quincy built a new police station, and they took the old site of Father Bill's. Across the street was some vacant land near Cork Ford, and across Broad Street, they built a state-of-the-art new facility for the homeless. So
John, was that mailed, the invitation mailed to the county? Because I
It
didn't
was
get one.
here. I'm looking at yours. It's in front
Okay,
of
thank
the seat, but I'll get it. I'll bring it to you tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But it's, it's one of the largest shelters around. It's not as big as some of them in Boston, but Father Bill's, without editorializing, is here to stay. It's named for Father Bill McCarthy, who was a great cleric in the city of Quincy. He started it in the back of St. John's Church about 25 years ago. But
They do great work. They
it's
do great
grown
work.
to be a mainstay.
Yep.
For homeless folks in the Quincy area. So
Yeah.
they're getting a new headquarters. Everyone's pretty excited about it. It looks good. I haven't been down there. I'd go by and look over the fence, but I didn't realize it was this close to fruition. But everyone's invited. As you know, we've been active with Father Bill's, and we're able to give them some portion of money about 2 years ago for a project they did over in Randolph, I think. And I'm sure.
The particular invitation came via email, Commissioner, so if it's okay, I'll forward it along to Commissioner Stady. Would you like to forward it along to you as well? I'll send that along to you after this meeting, Commissioner.
Okay,
Thank you.
it's easier
Thank
then.
you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
The last item is to alert the commissioners. I had my second follow-up meeting with the trial courts relative to a contract for continued operations of the Quincy District Court. As we expect the Commonwealth to close on the sale of that property June 30th, beginning July 1st. We will no longer have ownership of that property, but instead we'll be operating it on behalf of terms and conditions that the Commonwealth is in the middle of finalizing with myself and the county. We should have something shortly for the commissioners to look at. I'll make sure that Scott Lopez has a gander at it as well. It's relatively straightforward because it basically lifts the terms, conditions, and categories off of the lease and places them into a basic standard contract / scope of services. This particular contract will be for fiscal year 24 from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, at which time we'll evaluate what kind of contract will be in place for the following year. The trial courts have not yet solidified any plans relative to a posting of interest for new property for occupancy while the new Justice Center is constructed. I suspect they're probably going to be in that space of advertising that need sometime this summer, perhaps early fall. So it's more than likely that we will be during some level of standard contract relationship with the Commonwealth into FY25. The terms of this contract basically has the Commonwealth paying the county on a monthly basis for fixed costs of staff and services. And at the end of the year, we'll reconcile with the Commonwealth for any costs that are either up or above or below the expected standard contract rate. So trending well, but that's just a brief update. It was a very good call. Mr. McGowan joined Mr. O'Brien and Scott McQuaid, Chris McQuaid, excuse me, at the Dedham District Court yesterday. More on this hopefully in the next couple of weeks. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions for Director Cronin? Okay. Number 18, other topics that the chair did not reasonably anticipate. I have none, but before we adjourn, I want to bring to everyone's attention the loss of a longtime county employee, Mary A. Kennedy Donovan, known as Mim to everyone. She was a longtime employee of the County Commissioner's Office and in post-retirement went to work over at the Norfolk County Jail for another 10 or 12 years. Mim was a fixture at here, always a friendly face. I myself got to know her through my wife. She did retire long before I became a commissioner. I think Peter, she may still have been on the payroll when Peter came aboard, but she was a longtime, lifelong resident of the town of Dedham. She has long tentacles. She's a member of the Bradbury family. Her sister-in-law, late sister was Margaret Bradbury, and her other sister was Ann Nancy O'Brien, who was so well known to us and loved by us as Fran O'Brien's wife. So Mim has, listen to this, nieces, nephews, grandnieces, grandnephews, great-grandnieces, and great-grandnephews, all in the Dedham area. So I wanted to mention Mim and dedicate this memory to her, this meeting to her, because she was so fortunate to attend so many of these meetings over the years. But I might pass that she was 97 years old.
Wow, wow.
So, and she worked well into her 80s because it at the jail in the recent past, but she had taken her pension and then went over there and filled in on answering the phone and greeting people. So when we leave today, I'd like to dedicate this memory after we adjourn to Mary Mim Donovan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll have a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn, Mr. Chairman, at 2:11.
2:11, and we're due at the county golf course at 5:30.
Yes.
Second.
Yep.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.